Hi, it's Steve. Today we'd like to show you how to change the door vent on your dishwasher. It's a really easy repair. Let me show you how we do it. Now before we begin this repair, the first thing we'll need to do is to disconnect power to your dishwasher. If your model has a cord on it, simply unplug it. If not, locate the electrical panel, turn off the appropriate breaker, or remove the appropriate fuse. Once we've done that, we can start the repair. So we'll begin by opening up the dishwasher door completely. And we're going to remove the bottom 3 screws on either side so that we can remove the outer door panel. These are a number 15 Torx head screw. Then while holding that outer door panel to the inner door, simply raise the door into the upright position. Allow the panel to drop down and tilt forward. Then simply lift it off. Now next we'll open the door up again and we'll remove the screws that secure the control panel to the inner door panel. Again, these are number 15 Torx head screws. And then hold that control panel to the inner door panel as you remove the last screw. We'll allow the door to stand upright. And then we're going to lift off that control panel. Now what we need to do next is remove the harness connector from the vent at the top, as well as the detergent dispenser. There are typically little locking tabs on the edge of those connectors. So simply push them back and separate the harness. Then we're just going to carefully lay that control panel down. And then we'll open the door up and remove it from the 2 hinges on the side. Now there are 2 screws on either side, and these are a number 20 Torx head screw. Do the same on the opposite side. And then we can simply pull that door out away from the hinges. And now we'll take that and set it on a suitable work surface where we can change out that vent. Now next we'll need to remove the 5 screws from the back side of that inner door panel. These are typically a 3/16 hex head screw. And then we can lift that old vent away from the door. You can discard the old one. And then we'll clean up this area to remove any buildup debris. Now, when installing the new vent, you'll take note that on either end, there is a little slotted opening. And that needs to fit over the bottom edge of your inner door panel. So fit that on and then just roll the vent towards the face of the inner door until the screw holes line up. And ensure that it's hooked over that metal edge. And we'll install the 2 outside screws. And then we'll go ahead and put the 3 remaining screws and make sure they're all tightened securely. And then we're ready to put that inner door panel back on the dishwasher. Now before we install the inner door panel, we suggest that you remove the bottom rack. It makes the job a lot easier. Now we need to make sure that the flange on the outer edge of this inner door panel goes all the way in past the hinge. Once we have it down far enough that the screw hole lines up with the top hole in that hinge, we can then just gently push the door open a bit, and then we'll install the screws in the side. Now once we have the top 2 in, we'll go ahead and line up the bottom 2. Make sure these are nice and tight. We can then put the bottom rack back in place. We'll allow the door to stand upright. And then we'll reinstall our control panel and the harness connections to the powered vent and the dispenser. Just line it up straight with the housing, push it in until the locking tab engages. Now once they're locked into place, we'll reposition the control panel and secure it to the panel. So again, we'll just pull that door open. And then we're going to line up that control panel across the top. And then just tilt the door down a bit. And then we'll install a couple of the screws to hold it in place. Now these screws are going into plastic, so you want to make sure that you don't over tighten them and possibly strip the plastic. And then we'll just go ahead and put the rest of them in. And now we're ready to put the outer door panel on. So when installing that outer door panel, we just need to make sure that the flanged portion here fits over top of those protrusions on the door hinges. When it's sitting over both sides of that, it'll hold itself in place. So you can then tuck it up in underneath the control panel. Open the door slightly while holding that outer door panel in place. And then pull it up until the screw holes line up. And then we'll just replace the remaining screws. We can then close the dishwasher up. We're ready to reconnect the power, and your repair is complete.